All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today. If you want to call and ask questions, well, you can't. Why is that, Beeb? Why?
Unknown caller.
Oh, we got a caller. Robert, is that you? Robert, can you hear me?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go on mute.
Okay.
Put yourself on mute until I call you.
I will.
All right, goodbye. All right. Beeb, why? I'm going to give you a chance. This show has started out shaky as ever already. You tell me why. You tell me why we can't have any calls. Beeb, because people are tired of hearing me say it. I want you to say it, Beeb. You are the voice of Beeb Industries, are you not?
Well,
Beeb, I asked you a question. I asked you a question. Are you not the voice of Beeb Industries? Let them know what happened.
Blog Talk sucks. I was just going to say that. I have to back you up on this. That's what I was going to say.
Robert calls Beeb Industries directly. That's what he does.
Unfortunately, Robert does have the direct line because he used to work here. He used to work here.
It was just better to keep the number rather than change the number.
The secretaries complain that he calls 20 times a day, but we're not going to change the number because of our clients. We don't want to change the number and screw up our clients. So that's why that's why he has the number.
Demetrio really wants to know what the scorecards were for Foster and Conceicao. I hate to disappoint you. Only one of us had a scorecard, and it wasn't me.
I got a scorecard. And
so
once we get into the fight, I'll break it down.
Let me tell you what, you had to wake me up halfway through it, though. I didn't think it was that great of a fight. Did you?
I was not entertained at all.
I was not entertained. That's right. That's right. Let me tell you what, if we were in Roman times, they would have sent out the lions on both of these guys. All right. That's the way it is. ESPN, we're going to get started. Robson, Conceicao versus Oshaki Foster, 12 rounds rematch for the WBC junior lightweight title. And Conceicao won last time, not so much this time. Oshaki Foster, revenge, beats Robson Conceicao by split decisions, 115-113 for Foster, 115-113 for Conceicao, and 115-113 for Foster. It reminded me a lot of the first fight, but look, man, it's just both these guys have a style, that going forward, their fights are always going to be close. It's you can fight this fight 10 times, it's going to look the exact same 10 times. And I'm just not a fan, Beeb. I'm not a fan. I've said it before. Oshaki Foster, I'm just not a fan. He's just not exciting to me. There's nothing that sticks out about him. I'm not saying he's not a good fighter. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying from a fan's perspective, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that's going to make me look at the TV, look at his name, and say, I got to watch that guy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this, Conceicao did the best he could with what he had in front of him, right? Because that style is a tough style to look good against, right? We always say make them miss, make them pay, but Foster likes to make you miss, but
and then
doesn't want to make you pay.
All right? I like to make you miss and just make you miss.
So, this was a tale of two halves, tale of two fights, right? First half was definitely Conceicao, second half was Foster. You could argue I had Conceicao winning 5 of the first 6 rounds. Some people had it even. A lot of people had it 4-2 for Conceicao, right? The first round I did give to 4-2 for 4-2 for Conceicao. I did give the first round to Conceicao, but a lot of people may have given that to Foster. I also gave round 12 to Conceicao, and a lot of people would have or could have given that to Foster. So I had it 115 and 113 for Conceicao, but if I flip rounds 1 and 12, I could then it goes 115 and 113 for Foster. So in the beginning of this fight, Conceicao was doing pretty well. He was actually landing at a much higher percentage this fight than he did in the first fight. But when there was space, I thought Conceicao did well. Foster tried to get in the mid-range, tried to get on the inside, but when he got close in the first half of the fight, Conceicao was wrapping him up a little bit, and he wasn't allowing him to work on the inside. And Foster kept trying to pull Conceicao in deep and set him up for traps. But Conceicao was really doing well with keeping his distance, really good at keeping his range, and his jab was really good in the first half of the fight. But as the fight wore on, we did see Conceicao slow down just a tad bit, and in the second half, Foster was doing a little bit better on the inside. He was landing some short uppercuts and short hooks on the inside, and Conceicao wasn't able to hold him and contain him like he did in the first half of the fight. And Foster started coming forward a little bit in the second half of the fight. But one thing, like we talked about this earlier, that Foster does, and it really aggravates me, is he's sitting there looking up at the clock, almost like again, like I've said this before, he runs
boring.
Yeah, he runs
He's just boring.
He runs the four corner offense like he
Yes.
It's almost like he kills the first 2 minutes of the round, and then like with a minute left, then he decides to work a little bit. Like he's almost like timing himself. Okay, now I'm going to try and quote unquote steal the round. Well, guess what? When you have to steal the round, that means you didn't do much in the beginning of the round. So now you have to try to quote unquote steal it. And again, I'm just not a big fan of that. And a lot of people like to go back to that Ray Leonard Hagler fight and say that Ray Leonard was trying to steal rounds.
Well, he clearly was.
That wasn't the case, because Ray Leonard would start out quick. He'd have a good first minute. Then he kind of coasted a little bit in the second minute, but he finished strong. So it wasn't like he just killed the first 2 minutes of the round and just ran the clock out.
I think he ran the clock out until 30 seconds, and then he tried to fight, and then that's a misnomer.
Nostalgia. That's a
nostalgia
misnomer.
was on his side and everything like that. So of course he won
that's a misnomer.
Listen, of course they're going to cheer for him and give him the thing. He's Sugar Ray Leonard. He's like the most beloved character in boxing. So of course they were going to steal it from Marvin Hagler.
Sounds like you must have bet on Hagler in that fight, sir.
Well, listen, I'm a Massachusetts guy. Oh, wait a minute. That's you. You're the turncoat. You're the Benedict Arnold in Massachusetts.
Listen, I picked Hagler to win that fight. As much as I loved Ray Leonard, I didn't think he was going to win. But I had to score it accurately, man. I'm a professional scorer. I was trained by Steve Weisfeld. I have to score the fights as I see them. My integrity's on the line when I score these fights.
Raviel says Foster was playing with his braids also.
Thank you.
What do you do? I don't understand why you got that haircut. Why don't you come in? Your hair is short, so it doesn't get in your face. That's what you do,
don't
man.
Need that
you cut
haircut.
it.
It's not.
It's just
not conducive to being
after the fact. Like I said, do it after the fact. You want to do that, do it after the fact. But it's going to get in your way. That's the thing. It's going to get in your way. That's why you don't see anybody with it.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Not a big fan of that haircut. But yeah, so that pretty much sums it up.
It was not a good fight. I mean, it was. Here's the deal, man. He's just never in really good fights. And listen, no question, he deserved it last time. I thought he deserved it, right?
Yeah, I thought he won the last fight.
I thought he won the last fight.
Yeah.
But, and can you run it back? Yeah. But was I excited about the run back? No. Because, again, I'm not excited about watching him.
No.
It just is.
Well, guess what? He's a champion again, so now you got to watch him more.
Raphael. You're darn right. Eric is right. Leonard did steal the fight with Flash. Hagler won that fight. Absolutely.
He did not.
He did. He was stolen so much. The guy moved to Italy, not known as a sore loser, by the way. Got out of box, just left boxing.
You know what else he did? He used to live in Massachusetts, but then he relocated to New Hampshire. So he had a house in Italy, but then towards the end of his,
I'd have moved out too. Where you treated him?
He moved to New Hampshire he moved back from Italy to New Hampshire. He doesn't stay in Massachusetts anymore.
I don't blame him. Let me tell you what. I don't blame him.
It was a shame. It was a shame that he passed away so young too.
I know. Yeah, he was young. What did he die? It was a heart attack or something like that.
Some respiratory issue. They really didn't go in depth.
A COVID thing, wasn't it around COVID?
That was a rumor, but his family hasn't really come out and said what happened. It was some type of respiratory thing they said. But I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened.
Yeah,
but
I don't know either. But it's either way, it's sad, because he was a young dude, man.
He was a good guy too. Like if you saw him running and you waved to him, or if you wanted to talk to him, like if you saw him somewhere, he talked to, and he was generally really a nice guy. You know how they say you don't want to ever meet your heroes? Well, guess
Yeah.
what? It's not like that with him. He would talk to everybody. If he was running, he would wave to everybody. Always acknowledged people. He was a very, very gracious person.
So is that what you did? Did you go talk to him? Huh? You were real friendly with him and then stabbed him in the back after that Sugar Ray fight, huh?
I've said hi to him. I've said hi to him before. I've shook his hand.
That's what you did, huh?
You know, I don't get starstruck like
Yeah,
these
you
other
went over
people
there and
do.
started talking to him. Oh, you're my favorite fighter, and stabbed him right in the back in that Sugar Ray fight. Awful. You ought to be ashamed of
I'm
yourself.
not going to throw salt on the wound. You know how I am. I'm not going to insult the guy. No, but he wasn't nice. He was a very nice guy.
All right. So somebody in the chat mentioned, and I think it was Raphael, about Navarrete and Foster. I think that would be a good fight.
Because Navarrete would make him fight. You have no
So he's
choice
going
but
to
to fight.
press this dude and make him fight. You know, because I wonder, does he have the power to keep guys off him? A guy like Navarrete, does he have that kind of power?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think that's a good, yeah. Did you for real, Beeb? Shook Hagler's hand with your left hand?
I've never in my
What
life
is the matter with you?
shaken
Why would
any
you
man's
do that?
hand
Why would you
with
do
my
that?
left hand.
You shook his hand with your left hand.
I'm Lebanese. I could never do that.
Oh, that's messed up. That's
Lebanese
just
people
messed
would
up.
never shake
I hear
anyone
what
with
you
their left
say.
hand.
Yeah, I hear what you say. Yeah.
Against that culture.
Look, we got proof. Somebody saw you do it.
It's not true. That was an AI trick. Never happened.
Picture in AI. That's right. They AI'd you.
You ever go on Twitter where they do like the AI? They have people like famous people talking and shit.
Isn't that crazy?
Hilarious.
Like, what?
They do like Joe Biden, like they like talking and stuff. It's
Did
like,
you see when they had Joe Biden and Donald Trump, and I think it was Barack
too.
Obama
Yeah.
playing video games, and they were
Hilarious.
talking trash to each other?
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, it's so funny.
All right, on the undercard here, Raymond Muratalla versus Jesus Perez. Muratalla wins by second round KO. It was a pretty quick night for him, so he pretty much dominated that fight. Let's see here. On DAZN, the kid, Floyd Schofield versus Rene Guerin. 12 rounds, lightweight. Schofield wins by unanimous decision, 118-109 twice and 116-111. Now, excuse me. Schofield looked like he was wobbled in the third round. He was knocked down in the 11th, still managed to dominate the entire fight. Beeb, was he hurt in either one of these exchanges, or was this just like off balance, or what was this?
I don't think he was hurt during the knockdown. I thought that was off balance. The third round, I thought he got hit with a good left hook. He was buzzed a little bit, but he recovered pretty well. So good fighter, but I'm not sure if he will be a great fighter. I'm not sure if he beats guys like Zepeda or Shakur or the guys like Lomachenko right now. Tank Davis, no way. So I think
he called out Shakur after the fight, which I thought was really interesting after that fight.
What I would do, I would put him in there with a George Kambosos and see how he does against that guy.
That's a good fight.
That would be a good fight for him.
That's a very good measuring stick.
Just to see where he's at.
Because he should beat Kambosos. Kambosos is a very good gatekeeper now.
Yes.
He should be able to beat Kambosos, see how he beats him, and then is he ready to step up?
Because Kambosos is still like a ranked. He's probably still like in the bottom top 10.
And there's really no quit. That guy can fight, and that guy will fight. He will take the fight to you. It will be a fight, you know.
I just noticed, with Schofield, he's not great on the inside. That's where his weakness is. And I noticed, in this fight against Giron, when Giron was close, that's where he had the most success. Because when Kid Austin gets close, he stands straight in the middle, doesn't really step off to the side, doesn't bend his knees, doesn't make himself stands straight up on the inside, doesn't make himself a compact target on the inside, and doesn't really try to get the proper punching angles when he's up close. He does beautiful from the outside, but when you get him mid-range to inside, that's where he becomes very vulnerable.
What are you going to do against a Tank Davis? Somebody who comes at you full speed the entire fight.
That would be a nightmare for him.
It'd be a nightmare for him trying to keep distance.
Yeah.
Just trying to Frank Martin tried, and Frank Martin did a great job of it until he got tired out,
Yeah.
Clarissa Turkios Tercios.
Put him in there. I think Frank Martin beats him.
I think Frank Martin might beat him too. Frank Martin's a really good fighter, man.
Frank Martin's a good mid-range guy. He's got a sneaky left hand. He's tough.
I'll be honest. I love that fight.
I think it would be a good fight.
I would definitely. I'm definitely down to watch that.
I would probably put him in camp when they were Cambosis first before I put him in.
Before Frank Martin.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Martin fight, it's not a bad fight, but it's a little bit tough style for him right now based off of what I've been seeing of Schofield.
Yeah, there you go. Beck the Bully versus David Stevens, 10-round super middleweights. Beck the Bully wins by split decision here, B, 116-112 for Stevens, and then 118-110 and 117-111 for Beck. Beck had a lot of promise coming up, and I think that fight with Gabe Rosado took it out of him. I really do. I don't think he's ever recovered from that fight because he's not been the same fighter since. And he should have smashed Gabe Rosario. He should have smashed him.
Once that wall of confidence gets a crack put in it, sometimes it's hard to repair that,
Yeah.
And again, his name was Beck the Bully. And
when you get bullied, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
You get beat the way Gabe beat you, you're not the bully anymore.
Yeah.
Right? That's your whole persona, then,
Yeah. Gavins goes hit it right on the head. Beck has hit a ceiling. I agree.
He may just have.
I really believe that. Yeah. I think I think he's at his peak right now. I mean, what else has he got? You know what I mean? I Am Your Leader said Frank Martin ran the whole fight versus Tank. I mean, Tank doesn't really give you much of an option here. You know what I mean? Because he's moving towards you fast. You know what I mean? He doesn't give you a lot of option unless you're going to stand your ground, which you will have to do if you're going to beat Tank Davis. Okay, you will have to stand your ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Frank Martin, I mean, he did good for a time, and then, like I said, he just ran out of gas, man.
Leo Santa Cruz tried to stay close to Tank, and he had some moments, but ultimately you saw what happened there.
Yeah. So who are they talking about? Who is Tank fighting next? I heard, is it Lamont Roach? They're talking about him fighting next?
They were saying Lamont Roach, but then it got postponed. It was rumored for December, but then I guess something happened with the scheduling. Yeah, you got Rick Glacier saying that Tank wanted more money. Like, he's coming up with all these conspiracy theories, but I don't know why the fight didn't happen.
I don't hate the fight with Roach, but I don't especially love it. Like, when you're Tank, you should be fighting. It should be superstar caliber fights every time out now.
Yeah.
Because you're getting paid the money, you're the superstar, you're the face, you're pretty much the face of. I mean, who's a bigger money draw? I mean, honestly, who's a bigger money draw aside from maybe Canelo? Who's a bigger money draw than Tank? Tank's the guy, and I think Tank might be a bigger draw than Canelo. I don't know, but I think he might be.
Yeah, not just yet, but he can still do big numbers. I think Canelo has a baseline of about 500,000. Tank's baseline is probably 300K. 300K, yeah,
350 somewhere in there.
But again, you put Tank in there with the right opponent. Canelo hasn't done a million pay-per-view buys in a while.
No,
Tank has. So,
yeah, look at that Tank Ryan Garcia fight. You know what I mean? That was a big one. Now De La Hoya, would you see De La Hoya, this moron, dressed up as a Joker on Halloween? He's such a clown, dude. He was saying, I can't stand De La Hoya. I really can't. But he was saying that he wants to get Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia to fight. I'm like, he's not making that fight happen. Neither one of those guys making that fight happen. Because both of those guys are going to want obscene amounts of money to do it. So unless Turkey Al-Sheikh picks it up, it ain't happening.
I know.
And still nothing. Well, when does Ryan even get off his suspension? Like another 6 months, right?
About April-ish. He could probably be able to fight again in April.
What's he been doing all this time? You kind of wonder because you haven't really heard from him. You know what I mean?
When you're a millionaire and you're not clipping coupons, you could pretty much do whatever the fuck you want.
Pretty much do what he wants. Yeah, but I wonder, has he been staying in shape or has he been? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows with this guy? He's flying around, going everywhere. He went to Saudi a couple times to the events there. He's always at the fights. He always seems like he's drunk at these fights, drinking, partying, having a good time. So who knows?
He said instead of the Joker, it was the Coker.
That's funny.
Robert, are you there?
Yes, I am, guys.
Robert, what's
Yes, I
up?
am.
Wake up with this delayed action stuff,
No,
please.
you're on the
No,
main bat line here. You're on the bat
it
line,
takes-
son.
It takes me a second to unmute, guys. Come
Oh,
on.
come on.
Now,
Oh,
let me comment.
that's
On an
huge,
iPhone.
Let me
a
comment.
huge task. Unmute yourself. Hit
I'm
the
not
button.
asking you to work in a coal mine here. I'm
I'm
just
not
asking
asking you to
hit
do
the
like
mute
pull-ups
button.
or something. Not get down and give me 20. I'm asking you to hit a mute
All
button
right.
for Christ's sakes.
Okay. Can I talk, please?
Please,
Now,
you
let
have the
me
floor.
let me cover a few things. I completely forgot about Foster fighting, and I'm glad I missed it because he's one of the most boring fighters I've ever seen in my life. And I would like either Navarrete or Valdez or even Rocky Hernandez to go in there and tear him apart. He's one of the most boring fighters that there is. And I think all three of those guys, because Hernandez was 20 seconds away from winning that fight before the referee stopped it. Had he stayed on his feet, Hernandez would have won that fight when they fought, what was it, a year or two ago? And he's highly ranked again. So I wouldn't mind seeing any of those guys get in there with Foster because I think all three of them could beat him.
That's true.
There you go. There you go.
And as far as Schofield is concerned, I don't know how in the hell the WBA has him number 2 ranked. He is not ready for prime time.
Oh, that's
okay.
not nice.
He's not. He's a decent fighter. He's got potential, but he's only 22 years old. And if he goes in there with an established champion now, he's going to get run over like a tank. And it's ironic that he's number 2 in the WBA because who has the WBA title? Tank Davis. Tank Davis would totally destroy that guy. It would only take him maybe 2 rounds to do it.
Oh, that's not nice. Beeb, is there a method to the madness here with Schofield? Is there because he's 22, he's on his way up. We can look at him and know he's not ready for Tank. You got to think his handlers are doing the same thing, no?
Sure, because even in his last fight, he didn't look great, and Bernard Hopkins was kind of giving him a stern criticism. Right, he was really critiquing him about it, and they talked about it yesterday on the broadcast. So they know that he needs to do better. You know, they know that. They know what they have. So I don't expect them to, he may want to jump into the fire right now, but I believe they're smart enough to know that he's not ready. And I don't think they're going to put him there yet. So he needs some more fine tuning. And even with that fine tuning,
I don't know that he's at that level. I don't know that. Yeah, I think that's the thing. When I look at him, I don't know that he's really at that level, at that championship type level. He's a good fighter, no doubt. But if they rush him, even if they don't rush him, I don't know that he hits that ceiling. But I could be surprised. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of unknowns about him right now.
He may be a notch just below those guys,
But I tell you, and right now, and maybe he improves, maybe he doesn't. But you putting him in there against a big opponent right now, he's gonna get blasted out. There's no way he beats Shakur. There's no way he beats Tank. There's no way he beats none of those guys.
I don't see it. Yeah.
No, not right now. Not right now.
I don't think he beats Williams Zepeda either.
No.
No, he does not. No.
So, Robert, what would you do if you're Schofield's manager? Where do you put him next?
I have been thinking about that ever since this fight happened last night, and I can't. I think Joe has the perfect idea. I think George Kambosos would be a perfect test because he is not ready for any of the 4 champions. If he can beat a Kambosos, then we might have a conversation. But it also depends on how he beats Kambosos.
Yeah.
He kept trying to go for the knockout last night, and it was obvious that this guy had one hell of a chin, and you could not damage this guy. You didn't have enough power to really do any damage to him. But you need to go back with Ronnie Shields and maybe keep your dad out of the corner, because every time they went to the corner, you're not doing very good. You gotta go for the knockout. I got so sick of hearing that. When you have a guy like Ronnie Shields in your corner and he's an experienced trainer, the dad should shut up and let Ronnie Shields do all the talking. I mean, if this kid wants to ever have a decent boxing career, this is a case where the father needs to stay the hell out of the corner and let the trainer do his job.
I think that's a tough dynamic. I really do. And I do
Not a big
sympathize with
fan
the
of it.
boxers that have it. Because I think it's you look at the Teofimo. Look at Teofimo.
Ugh.
Perfect example of how he needs to replace his dad in the corner. I mean,
Well,
listen, man, you need to bring somebody in and you need to, put your dad in the back seat or whatever you need to do. But because his father's not that great of a trainer. He's just not, And what do you do? Iceman, I think he hits it right on the head. That dad wants to be a star.
Well,
and
yeah.
a lot of these guys live vicariously through their sons.
Yeah.
Instead of letting their son go their own path, they have to be involved in it. And
he was being a little bit too flamboyant in between rounds. Like he knew the camera was on him, and he was like a little bit too performative for my liking. Like he was being dramatic.
I didn't like.
He was being dramatic about every little thing. I understand you're trying to motivate the guy, but I mean, come on. You're not. This is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, he needs instruction. You don't need to tell him to go to the knockout. He needs instruction. That's what I've always, when they go to the corner and they're hyping him up or whatever, but they're not giving him any instruction.
Yeah. Just,
what are you doing? Like, that's your job. Your job is to figure out why he's losing this fight or why he's winning this fight, what he needs to do to adjust, that's your job, because you have the bird's eye view here. And when you see that and they don't offer relevant instruction or instruction at all, it blows my mind why these guys still stay in these corners, why they stick with these guys.
The perfect example of that occurred last night. You saw what happened in the Schofield fight with Ronnie Shields and his dad in the corner. In the fight previous, where Ronnie Shields was in David Stevens' corner, when they went to his corner, even though he was losing the fight, Ronnie Shields gave him strict instructions, and he was the only voice talking in the corner. And David Stevens tried to follow what his trainer told him. He just got beat. But you only need one voice in the corner. It's like I heard an interview earlier this week with Andy Lee. Of course, Andy Lee's helping out with Tyson Fury. Him and Sugar Hill and Fury's dad, they were all three in the corner for the last fight. And Andy Lee said, no, we're not going to have that this time. There should only be one voice in the corner, and we need to decide who that is, because they thought part of the problem was during the Fury-Usyk fight that there was too many voices in the corner, and Tyson couldn't follow instructions.
Yeah. Gavin's Go said the trainer camera thing they do is not helpful at all. No, I don't think it is either. I don't see any reason why there should be a camera on the trainer. I don't need to interview the trainer during the fight or during the round. I don't need that.
Not only
what I mean? It's not helpful.
Not only that, another irritating thing is when they go in there in between rounds and start interviewing the trainer during the fight.
That's what I say. I don't need that. There's nothing. It's just like interviewing the coach at halftime. There's nothing he's going to tell you that's going to be news.
What's he going to do? He's going to give you up the game plan?
Give the game plan here. Yes.
Stupid. It's just dumb. Not a big fan of that.
No, I'm not either. And especially, like I said, it's a lot of times, like I said, with the fathers in there, they tend to live vicariously through the sons because they were never big stars themselves,
That's
so
true.
it's just not a good dynamic. Didn't the WBC propose this years ago? Wasn't it a couple of years ago they said no more fathers?
I heard them say that before. Yeah.
Just shut up. I hate the WBC.
How do you
do that? How do you do?
you
What, are you just not
adjudicate
going to
that?
rank them? Are you just not going to rank them?
How do you adjudicate that? Like,
Moron. Complete moron.
If you bring your father in the corner with you, it's a no contest. Like, what are you going to do?
Right.
There's no way to adjudicate that.
Who's next for Foster? Robert?
I firmly believe that it should be one of the three that I mentioned, either Navarrete, Valdez, and of course they're going to be fighting each other again. Why they're having a rematch, I don't know. And then Rocky Hernandez. I think Rocky Hernandez will soon be a mandatory challenger for him again. And of course, they had one hell of a fight the first time around. So I think any of those three would be fine for Foster, because I think any of those three are going to beat him.
There you go.
I actually like the Valdez fight too for Shock Foster.
I like the Valdez fight a lot. I like that, and I like the other one that we mentioned. That I think anybody that's going to make that guy fight, yes, Navarrete. Anybody who's going to make that guy fight, that's what I want to see.
Yeah,
because that's what's not happening.
That's right.
You know what I mean? All right, Robert, we're going to put you back on hold here. We'll bring you back on in a little bit.
Okay.
And again, maybe we won't. So anyway, Beeb, just to reiterate, Blog Talk sucks. Why does it suck, Beeb?
Because we can't take callers this week. And
can't take callers this week because they suck. I do 4 shows. We do 4 shows, typically every Sunday at 6. Right around 4 shows every month. And sometimes Beeb goes a little crazy and he does his own thing during the week, or he does his fight cast. Sometimes I do fight cast. Sometimes we. Bottom line, I only use Blog Talk 4 times a month. And we pay a good amount for it. It's nothing back, but you can go look up what we pay. You can go look at the price schedule. It's not a back-breaking amount, but it's money. You know what I mean? And the fact is, they don't ever work.
Very inconsistent.
Very inconsistent. JC wants to know my thoughts on Mannix low-key bagging Sinicia.
It's his wife. They got married, bro. Talking about like they're having an affair or something. They got married.
What else was she going to do?
It's his wife.
I mean, what else was she going to do? Of course she's going to marry somebody.
She retired too. Do you know that?
What does she got to fight for?
Chris Mannix makes a good living. She don't have to fight.
Yeah, right. She's going to be back at home in the kitchen now, making whatever it is she makes for him. JC says, "Oh, come on, that's what happened. Am I wrong?
I mean, here's the thing.
Am I wrong? He married her. He wifed her.
Mannix,
let me tell you whatever. He wifed her, and he told her, "You're quitting your job. You're getting off the poles. You're getting out the ring. You're getting off OnlyFans, and you're coming with me." And that's what happened. What I miss? Did I miss
nothing?
Right? She's not on OnlyFans anymore, is she?
Whoa!
I'm asking. I don't know. I don't keep up with this stuff. I'm hoping you know.
I can't even give you the whoa for that one. She is actually on OnlyFans. She does have an OnlyFans account. I take that. I strike that.
Jesus, does she still have it?
I'm not even sure.
So do you think she's making more? All right. So
you're asking me accountant questions now.
I'm just saying.
There's no way I can find this stuff out.
You said, "Go make me a turkey pot pie." You imagine Mannix?
Chris Mannix.
Hey, babe, go make me a chicken pot pie, will you? Imagine Mannix get home from work, looks at her like, hey, I don't smell no dinner cooking. You know what I'm saying? I look at you waving your head like you're a kid. Come on, you know it's true. You know that's what's happening over there.
I'm a little jealous of Mannix. I'm not shaking my head in disdain. I'm shaking my head as why can't I have that? Well,
what is she pretty hot or something? Is she like?
I think. Oh, she's cute. Yeah,
is
she's
she?
very pretty. Yeah, I'll send you a picture of her. She's very pretty. She actually looks like a Jennifer Lopez a little bit. Like I don't want to get in trouble here, but a little bit younger version of Jennifer Lopez, a little lighter.
Tell you what, man, I don't know what she's eating, man, but she's 50. She don't look 50 at all.
She's an attractive woman. I'm not going to say
she's had some work done, boy, but I'm not mad at it. Tell you that.
Yeah,
Yeah, hey, man, well, good for Mannix. He seems like a nice enough guy.
Yeah, Mannix was a good guy. I like Mannix.
Gavin's Go says she's spicy. What's the matter with you? That's his wife. That's his wife. What does Robert think of what is Robert? Cienza? What is it? Cienza?
Seniesa Estrada.
Hey, Robert, come back on here.
Seniesa Estrada is one hot woman, and Chris Mannix is very lucky to have her.
Wow. So Robbie likes the Latino girls, huh? Look at that. We learned something new about Robert. She's pretty hot, huh?
She's cute.
Yeah,
so if she asked you on a date, Robert, if she asked you on a date, would you go?
Absolutely, I would go.
She's
But,
married.
now,
Bro, what's wrong with
hey.
you? She's married, son.
now,
Man, you a
you-
dirtbag, dude. That's cold-blooded, man.
Hey, no. The point is, he's a very lucky guy. I mean, and very intelligent too. She's very good on boxing commentary as well, so I can see her doing that. If she's not going to fight anymore, I can see her get on the microphone. She could replace Tim Bradley. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I don't like her. I don't know if I want her on. I don't want to hear her voice, but
Rob, let's not go over the top here, Robbie. Please.
yeah. Oh, she is kind of cute. Yeah, she's a normal looking chick. Yeah, she's all right. What's wrong with her? She's all right. Beeb just sent me a picture of her. All right.
She's pretty, man.
Chris Deere says Mannix is the female of the relationship. Oh, that's
all right. Let's like
come on, man. That's cold blooded.
Let's take it easy here, please.
She does look like a young J. Yeah, she does look like J Lo a little bit.
Yeah, she's very pretty. Like,
I mean, she's not J Lo, but she looks a little bit like J Lo. She's like J Lo light.
Well, she's only 32, Eric.
Yeah, she's pretty, man.
Yeah, she's not too bad. She's not too bad. She don't got a. What is it? Robbie's got a chub. King KO says she doesn't have an ass like J Lo. Sansa's got a flat back. Well, listen, man, that's a guy's wife, man. Come on, man. Come on. That's cold blooded.
She's petite, all right.
All right, Robbie, go back on hold. We'll come back for you.
Get lost.
All right.
Did you say get in your hole? Is that what you just said?
I said get lost.
What is wrong with you?
I say get lost.
He's a guest. He's on the bat phone right now.
I know.
He gets access when nobody else does.
I know.
What's the matter with you? You need to pull it together, man. Seriously, you need to pull it together.
I got it.
You sure?
I'm back.
You're back.
Back on track.
November 7th on ESPN from Montreal on ESPN Plus. Petro Ivanov versus Ulises Iglesias. Who are these two? Stephen Butler versus Diego Gabriel Chavez, 10 rounds. What are we watching here? What is this?
These all the zone fights?
No, these are ESPN Plus.
Wow.
What is this? Is awful. No, I refuse to give any more. Anyway, that's on Thursday. On the 8th, from Norfolk, Virginia, ESPN Plus, Keyshawn Davis, Superman Keyshawn Davis versus Gustavo Lemos, 10 rounds lightweights. Keyshawn Davis is the truth. I'm telling you this right now. He is the truth. He is the next guy. He's that good. I'm telling you. Justin Wayne says Beeb's treating Robbie like an errand boy.
It's not true. It's not true.
You know who's really terrible, Eric? Detroit. Oh, that's cold-blooded, man. Detroit's all right. They're winning, aren't they? Are they winning the game today? I don't know.
I haven't followed it.
They were winning. What's your
team?
Patriots doing? What's your Patriots doing?
I haven't followed it. I have to check up.
With Squadooch, son.
How are the Bengals doing?
Same as the Patriots.
Yeah.
They won today. They beat Robbie's Raiders, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Troy Isley on that undercard versus Tyler Howard. Abdullah Mason on the undercard versus Johan Vasquez. And that's going to be on the 8th on ESPN Plus. On the 9th on DAZN in Philadelphia. Jaron Ennis versus Karen Chudzakian. Or what is it? How do you say? Chuck Hadzian. Karen Chakadzian. That was good. That was good. Excuse me. 12 rounds for Ennis's IBF welterweight title. Jesse Rodriguez versus Pedro Guevara. 12 rounds for Rodriguez's WBC junior bantamweight title. Raymond Ford versus Orlando Gonzalez. 10 rounds junior lightweight. It's not a bad card. Not a bad card. A week after is the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. On the undercard, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. So, yeah, Mario Barrios also on that card versus Abel Ramos. So at least they put something together. Shushu Carrington on that card.
Yeah.
So some good names on there. They should be, pretty well. The Serrano fight's pretty good.
Yeah, I like the Serrano fight. It's a decent fight. I think Katie Taylor's going to win again, though. It's at 140. Undisputed at 140.
I do like Katie Taylor. I do like Katie Taylor.
She's a good fighter.
I hope she beats Serrano.
Yeah,
I don't really care for Serrano.
I don't care for Serrano either.
What are your thoughts on that Mike Tyson fight? I mean, is that okay? So what is it? 2-minute rounds.
2-minute rounds.
I think what is it? 8 rounds.
8 rounds, 2-minute rounds, 14-ounce gloves, knockouts count.
14-ounce gloves are pretty big.
And they're also saying, this is what they're saying now, that this fight will go on their records. That's what they're saying. So now I'm a little nervous because I thought this was just going to be an exhibition and they play around. I'm a little nervous for Mike Tyson right now.
How is this? But you know what's weird is like, how can this count with 2-minute rounds?
I guess you can do 2-minute rounds.
I guess, it just depends on the contract. I mean,
I guess it's up to the commission if they want to sanction it. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. King KO said it's supposed to be 14-ounce gloves. Yeah. That's what he just said. Yeah, I don't understand it, but
it's interesting, right?
It is. It is interesting. But guys, like, he's 50, what is it, 58?
58, yeah.
He's 58 years old.
It's crazy.
Like, man, 58. Like, you and I both know what it's like to be in our 50s.
Of course.
And Robbie knows too.
I'm going to be 55 next month, man.
That's crazy. You don't look 55, by the way.
I appreciate that.
You look great for being in your 50s. But what I'm saying, man, is we both know what it's like to be in like early 50s, right?
Absolutely.
So, you wake up and like something hurts. Yeah, you might not even do nothing and just wake up and you're like, man, my shoulder or this or that. So I know he's got to have a lot of the same stuff, and I don't care what kind of athlete he was. All that trauma on his body has had to take a toll. He's got to have arthritis. He's got to have his hands have got to hurt. You know what I mean? It's different, man.
People can say what they want about Jake Paul.
Eric in his 50s. Come on. early 50s or whatever, 51. Stop it.
People can say what they want about
75th.
It's funny. Thank you, Fight Dog. People can say what they want about Jake Paul, but I'll tell you this. I mean, if you're comparing him to like top 10 guys, okay, that's a stretch, but he's not some another everyday Joe walking down the street either. You know what I mean? Guy can fight a little bit,
He can fight. He can fight. But this kid, man, he's a big, strong kid.
He's a big guy too. Yeah.
Guy, he can punch. I mean, listen, just the fact that he's KO'd a few people, man, he can punch. Ozempic is Beeb's fountain of youth. See, I would say Ozempic would be my fountain of youth. I mean, you don't need Ozempic, It's like
I've never tried that. I've heard bad stuff about that stuff, but I don't know.
Big Texan says you don't look a day over 35, Beeb. Look at that.
Thanks.
Guys, if you like what we're doing, even if you don't like what we're doing, just hit the like button. All right, man. It helps us out. Like and subscribe, man. It really helps us out. So there you go. So listen, I'm not asking you to, give us money. We're not over here with a tin cup. Just hit a button. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just hit the button. Just you got one of these. Just click it.
Little simple button.
Little mouse. Just click it. There you go. Lance Meyer. Sorry, I didn't read the I know, yeah, right. That Ozempic stuff. Yeah, there you go. People are getting pregnant at 50 while on Ozempic. Wow. So you think Beeb has a chance to get pregnant on Ozempic? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Stick to my Cialis.
Oh my God. Fight Doctor, if by some miracle Tyson should win, do we finally get to see Tyson Holyfield 3?
I sincerely hope not.
Oh God, let's hope not.
See what Vitor Belfort did to Holyfield, man?
Man, right?
That was a shame.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what I come out with this as. Like, he's 50 some years old. This kid is a small kid. He's a young kid. He's athletic. These guys are athletic, man. He's strong. He knows how to hit a little bit. You know what I mean? He knows what he's
Punch.
doing. He's a professional.
Yeah, he's a
You could put him in
legitimate.
there with a professional, and he won't embarrass himself.
He's a legitimate professional. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, Tyson is just.
We're talking about 85 Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And anybody can look good on that bag for 30 seconds. You know what I mean? And those little snippets that he gives us where he's throwing all those shots. Everybody,
one thing working out, but
Yes.
it's another thing fighting and taking punches and stuff.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different, man. It's different. So I would, we'll save our predictions for next week, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Not optimistic. I'd like to be optimistic though, but I'm not.
I'm not happy about it.
I'm not either. Yeah. Right. Drunk Irishman said the same thing. He said, 60 years old. 60. He's 58, 59. I don't know, but he's old. He's old by boxing standards, and he's old by any sports standards.
Yeah.
We're old by any sports standards. If we decided to go a pro in something, they'd be like, he's older and it doesn't work.
If we wanted to box, we would have to go into the Masters division.
Yes.
Obviously, we would never get licensed as a pro, but if we wanted to go into an amateur tournament,
it's a pro.
Like even Mike Montero, he was in Masters tournaments, but I think he did have a pro fight though.
He did have a pro fight. I think he had 1 or 2 pro fights. I'm not sure.
So.
But he's not as old as us either. He's like what, in his
he's
late
way
30s?
younger than us. No, he's in his 40s actually.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's still a lot younger than us though.
Oh, he's in great shape. He's a big, strong kid too, man.
Oh, he's coming out of the Marines. Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a big guy too. He's not
like
like a little. He's a
muscular
big guy.
Kid.
He's like a tall. He's very tall too.
He can squat like 315 for reps. He's a powerful guy, man. A lot of people talk. A lot of these goofballs, they want to talk shit to him online, man, but they would never say it to his face.
Yeah, that's the thing.
When I'm in Georgia, man, he's the head of my security detail, man.
He's the head of your security detail in Georgia.
You have protection when I'm in different states.
When you go down there so often,
once a year.
Once a year, it's not bad. Not bad. Go to the ATL. All right, news and rumors. Beeb, you just texted this to me today, and I saw it. Queensberry is headed to DAZN. Frank Warren has entered a multi-year media rights agreement with DAZN. The deal will make DAZN the exclusive home of Queensberry's elite boxing events starting in April 2025. Good move.
Good. I was thinking about this because we talk shit about DAZN all the time, rightfully so. I mean, for us, for Americans, it's not the greatest app because of what they're charging us for that. But if you're a UK person, you're a Canada person, you're living large because they're not charging you a lot of money. So now, what DAZN is starting to do, at least from what I'm seeing, is they're starting to really focus now. They're knowing they're still going to do the US fights, right? But they really know, in terms of boxing, where the money is. It's going to be in the UK, and it's going to be in Saudi, and the United States fights are just going to be filler fights. So I think to kind of compensate, and subsidize what they're losing in America, they're going to make it back. I think in a lot of these UK fights, particularly with Turki Al-Sheikh as well. So
and Fight Doctor just asked what happened to DAZN going bankrupt. Well, I think that Turki Al-Sheikh is a big reason they're not going bankrupt.
Well, not only that's part of it, but if you think about it, they're doing sports, not just boxing. They're doing soccer. Right. They're doing football. Like
DAZN as a whole, I don't think is going bankrupt. I think the boxing aspect in the United States, that's having hard times, or that was having hard times, or I think it's probably still is now.
Correct. Globally, DAZN is doing.
Globally, DAZN's going nowhere. Yeah,
they're
like
doing
ESPN.
In China, they have contracts with China to broadcast the NFL. So China can use DAZN to watch the NFL. I think Canada, and then all the soccer. There's a ton of soccer on DAZN too. Soccer on DAZN.
Let me tell you what, this sucks too. Warrior Way just said it's tricky to cancel DAZN. I ended up paying for 6 months of it when I thought I canceled.
Yeah,
they have like that hard 30-day cancellation. So if you order it and you wait till you ordered on Saturday, you wait till Monday to cancel it, you're already paying another month.
Correct. Maestro was telling me about that, and they screwed Maestro over.
That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
And it's not a way to treat your customer base. You know,
I actually canceled my DAZN a year ago.
I've canceled mine too. I
Yeah.
canceled mine before you. You know, it was
You did.
like I had just had enough. And for the price that you were getting, you know, for what you were paying a month,
Yeah.
but then you had to start paying for pay-per-views. No.
Like for instance, Eric, think about it. I think I opened up my zone like DAZN like twice this month. I used my DAZN twice this month.
Oh yeah.
And they go on these stretches where there's just not a lot of fights. Like they have some dead time in the schedule, a lot of dead spots in the schedule, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
And they realized, and then they did this really scumbaggish move where if you pay monthly, they jacked the price up to like $30 a month. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then almost try to lock you in for a year. Because if you pay for a year, like I think you save like I want to say $10-12 a month if you pay for a year up front.
Yeah.
But again, why am I going to pay for a year up front when when you think about it, how many times a month do I actually open the goddamn thing up?
Yeah.
And watch fights?
Right.
Because there's some months where there's only like 2 fights that they have on the schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I hate to be an asshole about it, and you know, I just don't think it's worth the money.
No, I don't either. I really don't. Canelo versus Eubank Jr. in talks again. Is what we heard earlier in the week. Dan Rafael came out and says, no, that's not the case. And Canelo has no plans to fight Chris Eubank Jr. Who's the logical next opponent for Canelo? I mean,
well, I actually thought that Chris Eubank Jr. fight was going to happen next. And
I'll be honest, I don't know that it's not. I don't know that it's not. I know what Dan Rafael says, but we also know how this works. But who's he got next? I mean, who's in front of him?
Yeah, I don't know. But the problem,
the
problem is Eddie Reynoso did come out and say that the Eubank fight's not happening because they did offer him the fight. He was ahead of the line. They weren't like he was ahead of the line. He was ahead of Berlanga. He was supposed to be the next guy. They actually made him an offer, and supposedly it was a pretty good offer, and he turned it down. And Eddie Reynoso, he was quoted as saying, I saw this online, that he said that we made him a great offer. He turned it down. His ship has sailed.
That's more money. That's
so
what he probably wanted more money.
And again, I'm not a manager. I'm not a promoter or a businessman in this sport, but this guy turned down the Golovkin fight. He turned down the other fights with Demetrius Andre. Like there's a lot of fights this guy turned down. And from what's been reported, and again, I don't know exactly the numbers, he's turned down some pretty big paydays.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
The Golovkin fight, when that was offered to him, I think they were offering him like $3 million or something like that. Three or 4 million. I think it was in between 3 and 5 million. And I heard they offered him a lot of money for this Canelo fight too, and they just turned it down. So
I don't understand him. I really don't. He's not going to get that kind of money anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, that Conor Ben fight, is that going to happen?
Is that bigger than the Canelo fight?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
So what's next for Canelo? Jesus Christ. Maybe they still can. That fight still can be on the table. Maybe they,
but Drew says Canelo just going to cherry pick his way to retirement.
Of course.
I think so too. I'll be honest with you. I think so too. I don't think that, and he's a first ballot no matter what. He's fought everybody. You can't really accuse him of ducking anybody because he has fought everybody. You could accuse him now of saying, hey, he doesn't want to fight this guy. He doesn't want to fight that guy. But throughout his career, he's fought the best there is. I mean, he's fought everybody. He's fought the best that they put in front of him.
Kadali says, and Billy, that could be a fight. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But it doesn't matter who is Canelo one of those guys? It doesn't matter who he fights. They're coming in for Canelo because Billy is a good fighter.
Like I said,
not a name.
Yeah. What did he look at the paper? Like everyone was saying that the Berlanga fight was a trash fight, right? And everyone was hating on it, whatever. And I wasn't too happy about it either.
Oh,
But I guess they said it did like 700,000 pay-per-view buys. It actually did more pay-per-view buys than the Munguia fight did. And the Munguia fight was thought to have been a better fight. So
well, they told you about the Puerto Rican and the Mexican thing. It's still a rivalry, man.
So
It's still there.
and people can say what they want about Amazon Prime, but I think in America, the Amazon Prime platform may not be a bad pay-per-view platform for Canelo.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I don't think. I mean, listen, he's going to make money regardless. I mean, he's already got more money than I think he'll probably ever need in his life, you know.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling that he keeps a lot of his. I don't know.
Well, he's got a lot of businesses too.
Yeah.
Like he has a lot of endorsements, does commercials.
Yeah.
You know, he's done commercials on American TV.
That's what I never understood about Floyd Mayweather. Why, as hard as he worked, he never got big endorsements, never got big deals.
Because he just wasn't a likable guy. Like he wasn't like that.
He always played the heel, you know what I mean? He never.
Yeah, he wasn't like a guy that like people would get behind. Like he just didn't have a great reputation. He had, had a bad reputation, like with the domestic abuse and all that. This is a lot of issues with like his character and stuff.
Yeah,
just hard guy to use to market products.
Yeah,
then
for sure.
Then he used to say, "Oh well, I don't want to promote another brand. I have my own brand. I'm TMT." Blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, now he's doing like window commercials and shit.
Is he really?
He's doing all these like low budget commercials and stuff.
No,
now.
He's not. Is he really?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. He's doing window commercials.
I've seen him do like a window commercial one day. Like he do commercials for like low budget stuff.
Stop.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're breaking my heart, Beeb. This is
you remember he was doing those things. He's charging people like what, $800 to do the meet and greets on.
What do you want to do? Like $1,000 to get? He wanted $1,000 to get an interview. You're out of your mind, son.
Now the money's drying up a little bit.
Yeah.
So now he's doing all this shit. But no one's turning down Nike. No one's turning down like these big
Triple G got the Air Jordan. He got the Air Jordan thing.
Then Canelo was got the Under Armour. He does that Under Armour. He has a deal with them.
All right. The Nevada State Athletic Commission will no longer punish fighters for cannabis unless they show up to the venue high or something like that. I mean, obviously, you can't let them go if they show up impaired.
You don't want like if you're taking it in camp or something to help you go to sleep, but I would not think it should be allowed during like the day of the fight or whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think it's a good move because I think a lot of these people use it in training. I think a lot of these people use it to calm down.
Yeah.
I don't, and you know what? If you've done it, you know that drinking is probably worse than this. You know what I'm saying? Alcohol is much worse than this.
I would
assume. Yeah. Did you say I would assume? It's fucking.
I'll be honest with you. I've never smoked a joint in my life.
Me neither.
Ever.
Me neither.
Ever.
Yeah, me neither. All right. Marco Verde, Beeb, the only Mexican Olympic silver medalist boxer. Mexico has never had a gold medal boxer.
Wow.
All of the pros and all of the pros are dominated by Mexicans. You know what I mean? It's a sport dominated by Latinos and everything. And I just find it hard to believe that no Mexican has ever won, but that's okay. But they turn pro early. Fight Factor says, doesn't weed act as a masking agent? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I can do some research on it, but I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know. But anyway, he's turning pro. He was a welterweight silver medalist, so he's turning pro. So there you go, man. There you go. We got a medalist out there now. He's gonna walk it, boy. He's gonna be champion like that.
Viva Mexico.
Yep. Warrior Way's got it. I keep telling Verde is the next face of Mexican boxing. I love it. Even the president did cocaine. What? Can you imagine Biden doing cocaine?
That's crazy.
Or are you talking about Trump? I know Trump's had to have done drugs.
They say Trump has taken methamphetamines before.
Shocking.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. Election day, the big fight Tuesday, Beeb. 2024 presidential election. You're taking Trump. You think Trump's going to win?
Yeah, I think Trump's going to sweep the swing states, and I actually think he's going to win the popular vote because I do think
he's not winning the popular vote.
I do think the polling is underrepresenting the rural voters, and even the New York Times came out and said that these people just don't respond. So technically, the polling's not wrong because they're getting answers from people who are responding to the polls.
Yeah.
And if you can't get certain demographics or certain groups of people to respond to the polls, then, I mean, have you responded to a poll this year?
I think I've got called for one.
Okay.
I've got called for one. And I did talk to him, but sometimes 9 times out of 10, I just shut him down.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't respond to the polls. So, I do think Trump is actually going to sweep these swing states. I think he'll be the next president.
Yeah, I think Kamala's going to get him. I think it's going to be a walk. I really do. I think it's going to be a blowout. I do. I've got no real data to go on. I just got that feeling. It's one of those things where it's like, it's so close. Just like we watched those for like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 fight going in. That was not a 50-50 fight when it happened. And that's almost always. I mean, how many times have we seen this? Almost always. When you see 50-50 fights, it's just, you see a blowout.
He's up big in the betting markets.
Yeah. The betting market's got him up big.
Yeah. He's up in
Illinois might go for Trump. There's no way Illinois is going for Trump like that.
He's up in 5 of the 7 swing states, and he's like
I just read he's up in Nevada,
Arizona,
Nevada. But Kamala, with the newest polls they got out now, Kamala's up in all of them. She's up in 5 of the 7.
But he's up in the averages though, in 5 of the 7. So when they average all the polls out, he's up in all like 5 of the 7 on just about everyone's aggregate. He's up at 5. He's up in 538. He's up in Real Clear Politics, and he's up in 270 to win. So what they do is they take all the polls and they average them out.
Yeah,
and he's
270 to win is pretty good because they've got all the polls up.
Yeah.
There.
So the only states he's down in is like Wisconsin and Michigan, but like by 0.2 and 0.3. He's up pretty good in Georgia, and he's up pretty good in Arizona. Nevada's always tough but Nevada is it's weird this time in Nevada because the early voting has a lot of Republicans that voted. They're beating the Democrats right now in early voting in Nevada, which is a shocker. Because Nevada is always a tough state for the Republicans to win.
They both come out for this, so it's gonna be a crazy one.
I thought Nevada would be the toughest state out of the 7 for him to win, but I don't know, man. Something's different this time. I think that what's funny? Biden got a lot of the blue collar workers, and he got a lot of the union workers. She's got a good amount of the union workers, but also he's got a good amount of union.
He's got a good amount of them
like
too.
The Teamsters. Yeah. There's like
a male vote is definitely going toward Trump. That's what they're saying. It's definitely going toward Trump.
Yeah. So
King KO, I wanted to get this shirt. They've got a shirt. Maybe if she wins, I'll get it. But it says Kamala, the Ugandan giant for president. It's got a picture of like Kamala, not Kamala the candidate.
Oh, does it?
The wrestler Kamala, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So, and I did not know Mamala meant, in Spanish. I didn't know that in slang Spanish. That's what it means.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that. I know chilito. I know that is slang for, or chilota is, you order that at Taco Bell. So
we'll find out in about
48 hours, son. About 48 hours, we're gonna find out.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be pretty. I always like this time of year. I know it's.
I like the election. I like the presidential election.
I don't mind it, right? Because
I like it. I'll be honest with you, man. I actually like politics. I kind of follow politics and stuff.
Chilota, pendejo. JC, it's Chilota from me. All right.
I actually learned a lot since I've been working for the city. I've learned a lot about politics, for good or for bad.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I guess yeah, I find myself like when we were in our 20s, we never studied, we never looked at this stuff. The older you get, you know, stuff like this.
Yeah.
So there it is.
My favorite president in my lifetime was Clinton. I used to love Bill Clinton. He was a great president, I thought.
Yeah, see, I never liked Bill Clinton. I was never.
I always liked him. I liked Bush Jr. as a person. I just didn't think he was a great president.
I like Bush Sr. I thought he was good. And then he got voted out. And I voted for Obama. Yeah. And I, like with the Hillary situation, Hillary was such a flawed candidate too, man. I voted for Hillary, but just because she wasn't Trump. Well, that's like I didn't really care.
Most people are doing right now.
But that's I think most people
are doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
All
right, guys. 48. Yeah, vote your conscience. Whoever you vote for, doesn't matter. Just go out there and vote. Make sure you vote.
Vote your conscience. No one's gonna judge you.
Nope. That'll do it here for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. RingsideReporterLive.com is our YouTube channel, and you can find me on X at Ringside73. Guys, we will see you next week.